Chapter 25. The Ghosts of Death. Somewhere in Virginia, behind a fence of bland government signage and biometric gates, lies the most dangerous room in America. It is not a war room filled with generals. It is a conference room filled with writers, men and women whose job titles might as well be Imagineer of Apocalypse. They are paid not to build bombs, but to dream them, to think the unthinkable, so engineers can make it real. This is DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, the Pentagon's quiet engine of chaos and invention. Officially, DARPA exists to prevent another Pearl Harbor or 9/11, to keep America ahead of its enemies. In reality, it is the perfect embodiment of the war brain's deepest instinct: secret knowledge, unlimited budgets, and an endless appetite for breakthroughs born of fear. DARPA is the child of Sputnik panic. In 1957, when a metal sphere beeped overhead, the war brain seized Washington by the throat. The answer to a Russian satellite was not diplomacy, but science fiction made flesh. ARPA, the D came later, was created to ensure the United States would never again be surprised. Its first hires were physicists, engineers, and futurists told to go out there, as far out there as possible. They went. From stealth aircraft to precision-guided munitions, from GPS to the internet itself, DARPA has been a hidden curriculum of war brain logic. Each innovation begins as an idea too strange to be practical, then moves through secret labs into prototype form, and finally emerges, decades later, as an inevitable part of modern life. The war brain loves this pattern. Secrecy shields failure, while spectacle glorifies success. Like Hitler's Reich laboratories, DARPA funds what sounds like fantasy: exoskeletons for super soldiers, swarms of autonomous drones, brain-computer interfaces to enhance cognition, hypersonic glide vehicles that can cross the globe in minutes, even biological projects, reprogramming viruses, engineering new materials from bacteria, creating synthetic senses for surveillance. What was once pulp magazine fodder now appears on military slideshows marked classified. And then there are the writers. DARPA has quietly employed science fiction authors to run imagination engines, workshops where novelists, screenwriters, and game designers brainstorm weapons, technologies, and scenarios the military might need in the next 50 years. They are asked to think like villains, to dream like terrorists, to imagine futures so dark that America must be ready for them. This is not paranoia at the margins. It is paranoia as a line item in the federal budget. DARPA officials say this is defensive, that it's about staying ahead. But the war brain never plays defense. It uses fear to accelerate risk-taking, to push technology beyond the ethical horizon, to invent tomorrow's problems today. Every drone strike, every new algorithm of surveillance, every black budget project is another move on the OS's board. When Hitler's scientists built the V2, they told themselves it would save Germany. It only prolonged the slaughter. When DARPA funds a hypersonic drone or a gene-edited pathogen, it tells itself it is saving lives. In truth, it is preparing the next theater of war. The war brain cannot stop, because secrecy and speculation are its oxygen. Without them, it dies. The result is a hidden arms race inside an open society. Congress debates budgets in public. DARPA spends them in private. Citizens see headlines about new cures or faster internet, but not the classified prototypes that make those spin-offs possible. And when the technology finally surfaces, it comes with an origin story scrubbed clean of its war brain ancestry. One day, a future historian may look back on this moment and see it clearly. He will note that in the 21st century, the war brain stopped building pyramids of bodies in Europe and began building towers of code, drones, and algorithms in America. The blood sacrifice became hidden, the spectacle digital, but the pattern remained. DARPA is not a conspiracy. It is a symptom. a sign that the OS has evolved for an age when spectacle no longer requires mass slaughter on camera. Today, a breakthrough in gene editing or AI can do the work of 1,000 bombs. The war brain knows this. It has already moved the battlefield inside the laboratory. The scientists, engineers, and writers working inside these programs tell themselves they are protecting freedom. Some are. But they are also feeding an invisible machine, giving it new tools to control, to surveil, to kill. They are the new priests of an old religion, tending the altar of progress with sacrifices made in secrecy. And the most brilliant among them, the ones who understand what they're building, know a secret they dare not say aloud. The war brain is not only planning for the next war, it is planning for the day humans try to rebel against it. Black programs, black budgets, and the hunger of the war brain. Every great empire tells its citizens that secret projects are a matter of national security, that without black budgets and black sites, the nation would be vulnerable. But the real vulnerability is far older and far deeper. It is the war brain itself, pushing every government to dig deeper into secrecy, to spin new webs of hidden research, to conjure weapons that may never be used. DARPA in the US, skunk works at Lockheed, underground bunkers under Moscow, biolabs hidden behind universities. The names and places change. The behavior does not. The war brain whispers to each nation's elite, "You are behind. Your enemies are ahead. You must accelerate." This is how it keeps the arms race eternal. Every black operation is more than a project. It is a laboratory for risk, a crucible for invention. Just as Nazi Wunderwaffe scientists scrambled to build V-2 rockets and jet fighters, America's secret programs have poured billions into ideas that would sound insane anywhere else. Autonomous killer swarms, bio-enhanced soldiers, hypersonic glide vehicles, space-based weapons, micro-drones the size of mosquitoes, and algorithms capable of waging information war on entire populations. These aren't the plots of paperbacks. They began as paperbacks because even today, DARPA and other agencies quietly hire science fiction authors to imagine scenarios beyond the reach of military minds. The war brain feeds on imagination. It needs writers to dream up doomsday so engineers can try to build it. It thrives on paranoia because paranoia accelerates budgets. It loves secrecy because secrecy frees innovation from ethics. Inside these black programs, the normal rules of accountability disappear, and humanity's most dangerous toys are born in silence. Most citizens think of war as a conflict between countries, but the war brain understands war as an ecosystem. Every faction is both predator and prey. Each state's secret labs create weapons not only to win wars, but to force its rivals to mirror its innovations, thus creating the next round of escalation. Hypersonics demand new missile defenses. Stealth aircraft demand new radar. Bioweapons demand new gene editing tools and countermeasures. Out of this invisible struggle emerge not just weapons, but entire new industries. The internet, GPS, advanced robotics, regenerative medicine, all children of secret programs. And yet, no side ever wins. Even the country that outspends all others is still shackled to the cycle, compelled to push into darker, riskier technologies. A perpetual treadmill of secrecy, fear, and innovation. This is not the logic of states. It is the logic of the war brain itself, a hidden operating system that will never be satisfied until the entire planet is one vast black project. Every great empire insists on its secrets. The citizens are told that without them, the nation would collapse. The truth is darker. Secrecy is not protection, but compulsion, driven by the war brain itself. For as long as humans have organized into nations, the war brain has demanded a shadow realm of black programs and black budgets, hidden laboratories where ethics dissolve and imagination is weaponized. In the United States, that shadow realm has a name: DARPA. Officially, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency exists to prevent technological surprise. In reality, it is the WARBRAIN's temple. Billions flow each year into projects that border on madness. AI-driven killer drones, autonomous tank convoys, hypersonic missiles that cross continents in minutes, satellites armed with lasers, genetic tools designed to reprogram viruses or human bodies. Each invention exists not only to serve America, but to pressure rivals into mirroring the innovation. This is the treadmill the war brain thrives on. Take the internet. To most, it is a platform for commerce, culture, and distraction. But it began as ARPANET, a DARPA project designed to keep communications alive after nuclear attack. GPS, the invisible map under every Uber ride and Google search, was originally a Cold War system to target missiles with precision. Even medical miracles have roots in war. Trauma protocols for mass casualty events, robotic prosthetics developed for amputee veterans, and vaccines tested under programs designed to counter bioweapons. The war brain creates tools of survival by first demanding tools of destruction. The cycle is global. Russia secretly builds the Poseidon torpedo, a nuclear-powered, nuclear-tipped drone submarine designed to cross oceans and trigger radioactive tsunamis. China pours resources into hypersonic glide vehicles that can evade U.S. defenses and space-based anti-satellite weapons that could blind American military command overnight. Each project is cloaked in silence, each leak carefully engineered to terrify rivals into accelerating their own programs. And then, there is the strange role of fiction. Because even engineers run out of ideas, DARPA has openly invited science fiction writers to dream. In workshops and classified consultations, novelists sketch out nightmare scenarios, robot swarms blotting out skies, designer pathogens that kill by race or genome, nanobots that eat through steel. These imagined futures are not dismissed. They are budgeted. The war brain feeds on the imagination of storytellers as much as it feeds on the paranoia of generals. Secrecy ensures innovation without conscience. A program like Project Maven, designed to harness AI to identify drone targets from the air, sparks outrage when leaked, but the outrage only fuels deeper secrecy. Hidden budgets grow, contractors expand, rival nations adapt. The war brain ensures escalation is permanent, endless, and beyond the reach of citizens who might object. The war brain does not care if a weapon is ever used. Its purpose is the chase. Hypersonics demand defenses. Stealth demands radar breakthroughs. Bioweapons demand new CRISPR countermeasures. And with every turn of this cycle, humanity's collective intelligence is forced further into riskier, stranger terrain. The byproducts, the internet, GPS, regenerative medicine, gene editing, spill into civilian life, disguising themselves as progress. But their origins are war. Always war. Humans think of war as a clash of nations. The war brain understands it as an ecosystem. Every secret program, every black site, every speculative weapon is part of a grand loop of provocation and response. No side ever wins. Even the empire that outspans all others is still enslaved to the OS's hidden algorithm, still running in circles inside its laboratory maze. The war brain is never satisfied. It cannot be. Its appetite is not for victory, but for perpetual escalation. The lesson is brutal. As long as humans obey the war brain, the future will always be written first, in secret, in bunkers, in black sites, in notebooks of fiction writers paid to imagine doomsday. And when the veil lifts, it will already be too late.